Just because you get into a gang, that don't necessarily mean you're going to be protected. Especially if you got bad charges, right? You want to know what do I mean by that? Here's a story about a guy named Calvin. Calvin was my bunkie for about 3 months. I thought Calvin was a solid dude. Calvin came in there telling everybody that he was in there for armed robbery, um, stealing cars, the regular stuff, right? Now, when Calvin came in, he was not in no gang. He was not a gang member at all. But he decided to join the gang. Now, Calvin, he was kind of rowdy a little bit, just a little bit. But when he got into that gang, the blood gang, oh, he turned all the way up to the point where me and him start having issues. He would try to, now everybody know that I don't smoke and I don't drink. And usually I'm gone out of the cell most of the day. Okay. So when I come back to the cell, I need my peace and quiet. But Calvin was cool because he gave me my peace and quiet. Him and his homeboys would leave when they see me coming. And, it's just a respect thing. So now, Calvin is really putting in work for the gang. He done got into extortion. So, and shout out to all my white people out there, but everybody know in the northern states that, young white guys get extorted. White guys is more likely to become a victim than anybody else in the prison system. And it's just a fact. But shout out to all my white people though. But with that, let me give y'all a little sidebar right quick. Because I want to address that part right there about getting extorted. Even who would you go after? Would you go after a guy that's going to fight back, possibly use one of these on you if you try to take something from them? Or would you rather go after a guy that's not going to fight back and let you do whatever you want to that person? You more than likely you're not going to go after somebody that's going to fight back. And I'm not saying all the white dudes, because there was some legitimate white dudes that was in there that was getting it in, that didn't go for that. Hit that like button, y'all. So it's not to all the whites, but you got to understand the dynamics of this of the jail. It was mostly the white guys that was coming in was junkies, alcoholics. They wasn't really violent people. So it is what it is. So let's get back to the story. So he joined the Bloods, and he got a part of the extortion gang, running up on people, taking their bags of commissary, just doing extortion. Now Calvin, I never seen him fight like one on one. I never seen him fight, but he always was talking about fighting. And here's another thing: I don't know exactly the initiation, how he got in there in a blood gang when he joined. I don't know, did he have to fight or whatever? I don't know, but I never see him fight. Okay, so keep that in mind. So one day, Calvin goes to court, and I'm laying on my bed, and he telling me like, yeah, man, I hope this lady don't show up to court to testify against me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I stole her car, this and that. Yeah.
Thank you for the food.
Is it good?
It's delicious. I gave you a shout out saying that thank you for dinner. You don't gotta say you made the sides, okay?
All right, thanks.
Thank you, baby.
All right. Yeah, my wife I just actually grilled some chicken and steak on the grill, and my wife was just telling me that the food was good.
Say I made the sides.
Babe, I'm live. All right. So, sorry y'all. Let's get back to it. So, he going around telling everybody this, like, yeah, I hope this lady don't testify against me, this and that, this saying that. So I'm not really paying no attention to him. I'm like, all right, but he telling all his homies this and all this and that. So it's like, all right, whatever. So he goes ahead, and him and a couple other guys go to court, right? He doesn't come back. Everybody come back to the pot except for him. Y'all wondering like why he didn't come back. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all why he didn't come back. The guys that went to court with him came back and said, "Yo, dude got bad charges." So their leader, I think his name was Big Blood or Billy Blood, Billy Blood or Big Blood, something like that. Some tall black guy, black dude, right? So they coming to him like, yeah, man, dude got bad charges. Caffey got bad charges, right? He got bad charges. And like, what you mean he got bad charges? They're like, man, he touched somebody, man. He touched like a 10 or 11-year-old little girl. Mm. So they like, where he at? Where he at? They said he ain't. We don't know where he at. So he sent the word out throughout the jail looking for him. Turns out that when they went to court, Calvin was the last person to get seen, but everybody heard what happened. Like the guards was telling the inmates about Calvin because they didn't like Calvin at all. So when everybody else went to court, Calvin was the last one, so he caught the last bus back. So they like, oh, okay, because they thought he PC'd up, but it was just he just got there late. Okay, so dude, like, are y'all sure? Y'all sure? They're like, man, we not gonna lie, man. We not. And some of the guys that was telling him this wasn't gang. So if they would have came back and said this and it wasn't true, it would have been a bad day for them. But they was telling the truth, right? So he like, all right, man, all right. So Calvin ended up rolling in there like an hour later, and it's quiet in there. Everybody know what's going on. I know what's going on. So he go up to his people like, yeah, man, what's up, man? She didn't show up, but man, they just postponed it, and Big Blood, whatever his name is, he looking at him like, yeah. Hey, come here, let me talk to you in the cell right quick. So he like, all right. So he looked right at me like what's up? What's going on? I'm looking at him like, that ain't none of my business. So he going to cell with him. Now I don't know what was said or whatever the case may be, but whatever was said, he came out of the cell like, man, who said that, man? I ain't touched nobody, man. I'm in here for armed robbery and this, that, this, and that. He just being loud and being extra. Everybody looking at him. So the leader come out and he like, yeah, you just better produce that paperwork. I know that. That paperwork better be produced, right? So he come in there, he like, hey man, hey, did you see who was out here telling them that, oh, I touched somebody at court and this and that? I'm like, shoot, I was in here laying down reading the Bible. He like, yeah, I was in there reading the Bible. So what? Y'all hit that like button though. So he like, hey, so man, you ain't see nobody out there dragging my name through the mud and all this and that? I said, listen, I was in here reading my Bible with my headphones on. I don't know. But I seen and I heard everything, y'all. Do me a favor, y'all, hit that like button and hit that follow button if y'all ain't subscribed. Okay. So let's get back to it. So he like, all right, man. All right, see, they think I'm sweet. So he go back outside of the room and he all yelling off the till like, hey, if anybody got a problem with me, y'all can come up here and address me man to man. Whoever came out here talking about I did this and I did that with a child, hey, that's messed up, man. And I'm going to do something bad to whoever did it. So everybody looking at him and they just looking at him like, yeah, this dude tripping. So then another guy was like, man, that paperwork better be shown. Show us the paperwork. He like, man, I ain't got no paperwork, man. I'll send for it in the morning. So he come back in the cell. He talking to me like, yeah, man, I don't know why they tripping, man. Man, who would say that, man? So I know what I'm in here for, this and that. And to be honest, y'all, he kind of had me convinced that he was telling the truth, but it was too many people down there saying that, and these guys, they know the consequences if you lie on a gang member. They know the consequences. So now I'm just laying there like, all right, man, whatever. Next day come. The blood guy, the leader of the Bloods, like I said, we just call him Big Blood. Big Blood go to one of the COs and he like, hey, basically, what is he in here for? Right? Because you would think, hold on, you would think that these gang leaders and gang members would do background checks on all their members, right? You would think that, right? But they don't. And here's another reason why. At this time, the jail that we was in, the Mexicans outnumbered the blacks. I'm going to say 3-1, right? So if you in a gang, you and especially the Blood gang, right? Especially them, they was recruiting any and everybody because if you have to go to war with the Mexicans and it's like 50 of them and it's only 9 of y'all, and that y'all needed the numbers. So they was taking they weren't doing no background checks on none of these guys at all. Because, in a time of war, ain't nobody checking and thinking about what somebody in here for. I'd rather go into a fight with 100 dudes than 4 dudes versus 50 guys, So, it just made sense. But when you got bad charges like that, don't even matter. So the deputy tell him, like, hold on, give me a minute. An hour or so go past. Now, dude is in my, that's my bunkie. Calvin's my bunkie. Calvin down there asleep. He listens to his headphones, but he's asleep. One of his Blood guys come up there, and he looking at me. He like motioning for me to come in, doing like this. So I hop off my bed and I go over there. He said, "Hey, give you the heads up. I need for you to leave out this room in 5 minutes." I'm like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Man, just leave. Just leave." And I'm like, all right. So then I started grabbing some of my stuff because I know they was going to tear the cell up. Now, before y'all try to ride down on me talking about, oh, you a punk and all this and that, you let them run up in your cell and your house and do this and do that and then, let me tell y'all something. I was only had, 3 more months to go? Yeah, I could have been like, no, y'all ain't coming up in here, right? I could have been like, well, I could have did everything but what I did, right? Right now, if I would have did that, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all right now. Matter of fact, if I would have did that, y'all don't see no cuts, right? No cuts. No cuts, right? If I would have did that, they would have got the you know what and made me a smiley face, right? They would have made me a smiley face. So before you start talking about, oh, this what I would have did, this and that, I only had 3 months left to go. I wasn't trying to get into no trouble, get no extended time or none of that. So before y'all start judging me, ain't none of y'all walked in my shoes. Some of y'all have, but anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't subscribed yet, right? So I said, all right, so I'm grabbing some of my things up that I ain't want to get towed up, grabbing some of my pictures, my mail, my commissary. Dude's still laying down there asleep. So I get up, I walk out. 3 minutes later, I see like 8 Bloods just coming, converging, pinpointing to myself. So I just go down in the day room. They go in there, whip him out. Whipped him out for like, I don't know, maybe 6-7 minutes. Just beating him up, beating him up, beating him. They beat this man so bad. They beat him so bad. Well, let me finish. So they ended up beating him up, and I can only imagine. Just imagine you laying down, right? You laying down like this, listening to music or sleep, and you get boom, 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 getting punched out, right? So here they getting punched out, beat up, stumped out, all that. Hit that like button, y'all. So they whipping them out for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then like 3 of them leave, and it's like 3 of them still in there. And then like 2 fresh new guys go up in there, and they start beating them up again. They whipped him out. Like it was like they was taking turns, like every 2 minutes, 2 or 3 guys to leave out, and then 2 other guys to come up in there. So as they beating him up, it's like you don't. I don't even think he could fight back. I don't know what the heck was going on up in there, but I guess maybe after a total of 9 minutes, 9 to 10 minutes, they all just it was done. I was afraid to go in there. I was afraid to go look in that cell. So I just sat down there for a minute, and then one of the guys came to me and was like, "Yo, you ain't see nothing." Now I'm gonna tell y'all what was gonna happen. Okay, when the COs, the deputies, go around doing the check, I was gonna get blamed. Right? I had two choices: go to the deputies, the COs, and say, "Yo, this what happened. They did it." Okay, and I could go to PC, mean protective custody, for my last 3 months. But here's the thing. I could have done that. But here's the thing. If I got locked up again and got sent to that same jail, oh, it would have been bad for me. Now, I know I tell y'all all the time that I don't care about the no snitching policy. On the streets, in jail, oh, you can't snitch, or you'll get immediate violence put onto you. And I know for the new people that's like, wait, hold up, you tell in the streets? No, I'm gonna tell y'all. Let me. Here's a sidebar. This is the definition of a snitch. If me and you decide to go commit a crime, and I get caught and you get away, and the police tell me who else was involved, and I say, oh, it was that guy. He did it with me. That's a snitch, okay? Now, when a grandma is coming from the grocery store and some guy walk up behind her and hit her upside the head, grandma have the right to call the police. Grandma isn't a snitch, okay? Even let's go another way with this. If a guy that's not in the streets or a woman that's not in the streets see another guy hit the old lady upside her head and rob her, that person has the right to call the police. Everybody is not a criminal. Everybody did not sign up to break the law. Okay? So that's the difference between the snitch. Okay? Now let's get back to it. So I didn't say nothing. So I just went in the room. Dude was knocked unconscious, laid out by the toilet. And I'm just thinking like, dang, what should I do? I don't want them thinking I did this. So, you want to know what I did? I got in my bed. I waited for count. That's all you can really do. He ended up getting up like 15 minutes later, groggy, moaning, like, oh, hurt bad. Dude, eye was closed. This eye was closed. Not right here. Lip all hanging. He had knots places where you ain't supposed to have knots at. Dude, ear looked like a cauliflower. All of that. Toe up. He looked at her. They beat him so bad and stumped him out so bad. Have you ever seen like the bottom of a boot? He had boot marks on his body. Boot marks. He looked like somebody went in there and just put him through a blender. I don't think they used, one of these on him, but he was done bad. I mean, gashes, all type of stuff, He looking at me like, oh, this groggy and all this and that. And I'm like, yo, you need to go. You need to go. Go. You need to go do something. He was like, man, help me out. I said, I can't get involved. Y'all, I couldn't get involved. If I would have got involved, would y'all would have helped me? Huh? I couldn't get involved. That was his gang. That was his politics. He had bad charges. He was running around there talking. He came in there, right? Telling everybody, oh, he was robbing people, stealing cars, this and that, right? He should have came in there and kept his mouth closed. But he decided to join a gang. So, in other words, the the predator has became the prey. Ain't that funny? The predator became the prey. The extortioner got what was coming to him. So he eventually ended up leaving out the room, staggering, walking down the stairs. He get to the control booth. Cop see him, CO or deputy, whichever one you want to call him, see him. They get on a walkie-talkie. Lockdown, lockdown, everybody lockdown, lockdown. Everybody going back to their cells. I was standing in my doorway just looking at them. Everybody going to their cells, this, that, whatever the case may be. People running to the microwave, getting whatever the last minute, because we finna be on lockdown, right? Oh, y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. So he get led into the control booth. They sit him down. I don't know what was said, but I'm pretty sure he told them that he got beat up and this and that, and he feared for his life. So, of course, they come in there, they questioning me. So, what happened? What did you see? Who did it? You need to tell us something, or you going to the hole too? I said, listen, I was in here asleep, knocked out with my headphones on. I don't know what happened. They like, well, he said he got beat up in here. Did you do? I said, man, look at me. How that man look? Did you see any scrapes or anything on my knuckles? Anything? So they like, we're cuff up, let's go. So they took me to the hole for a week. Took me to the hole for a week. Some of the blood guys went to the hole too, because he told them who did it. Well, some of the guys that did it. But I had to stay back there for a week though. That's crazy, right? But like I said, you can't tell you can tell if you want to, but you got to suffer the consequence and what comes with that. Like I said, the streets got different rules. Jail is different rules, right? So, I didn't see Calvin no more after that. The last thing I heard about him, that he got transferred up out of there. And, that was about it. I don't know anything else about the guy. The gang members got extra charges. One of the gang members actually got attempted murder charge, and it was because they said that somebody knocked his tooth out, right? Somebody knocked his tooth out, and they said he choked on it or whatever the case may be. That's what I forgot to tell y'all. I did hear some things about Calvin. They said Calvin had to get this cut open right here. Like right here, I think it's called a trachea or something. He couldn't breathe. When he was walking and staggering, he had his tooth knocked out and it went down the throat, and it was like blocking his airway. Yeah. So the point of this video is to let y'all know, just because you join the gang, that don't mean that you're going to be safe. And especially if you got bad charges. And bad charges, violating kids, violating women, that's being a sexual predator, right? Violation, bad violation. So, the best thing to do so that you won't have to join a gang and get into these crazy situations, don't commit no crime. Stop committing crimes. Okay? Go get a job. Stop blaming the white man. That is getting old. We live in a day of time now that, it's kind of on equal field. That everybody can get a job. Even if you're working at McDonald's or Burger King or a warehouse. Amazon always hiring. Go get your license. Right? So you don't have to endure the... Listen, if you ain't never been locked up before, you ain't missing nothing. When these dudes be getting out talking about glorifying jail and all this and that, as soon as them police put the handcuffs on you, it's over. You feel this sense of dread, right? Stay out of the streets. It ain't nothing good in the hood. Nothing good at all. Hit that like button. This is the Dante Show, right? Lockdown 88. I'm out.